Hello and welcome to the Georgia's Live Podcast. I am your host, Travis Smith. The Georgia's Live Podcast is the official podcast of Georgia's Majestic Lounge, a music venue located on Dixon Street in Fayetteville, Arkansas. You can go online to georgiaslive.com to see what concerts are happening there, as well as purchase tickets for those concerts. And you can follow us on social media on Facebook and Instagram at Georgia's Majestic Lounge and on Twitter at Georgia's Majestic. What's up, everybody? Travis Smith with the Georgia's Live Podcast here. Hope you guys are doing well. Today we have Tanner Usrey here on the show, who has a show coming up at Georgia's Majestic Lounge on Thursday, January 28th. We had him on to talk about his show coming up, what he's been up to, his songwriting process, a little bit about him, and about his new single that he has out. Let's go ahead and take you guys there. This is Tanner Usrey on the Georgia's Live Podcast. All right, I am here with Tanner Usrey on the Georgia's Live Podcast. What's up, buddy? How are you?
Good. How are you, man?
I'm doing well. Thank you for coming on here to talk about your show coming up at Georgia's, and we can dive into that here in a little bit, but just kind of wanted to talk to you a little bit about what you've been up to during the pandemic and what you've been up to before then and your releases and stuff like that. How's it been? I've seen you've been playing some shows and staying busy.
Yeah, we've been staying busy. Luckily, the pandemic affected us. Obviously, we stopped playing shows from March to early May, and then we started getting back at it. But mainly we've been playing Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Kansas and all that, because Texas has been shut down, I think, the most as far as venues go. So during the quarantine, we just we rehearsed, we wrote new music and all that good stuff. So tried to make the best out of a bad situation.
Have you wrote a lot of music since the pandemic started?
Yeah, we've got a good little group going.
Yeah, I saw you had a show on New Year's Eve. Looked like it's a lot of fun and a good lineup.
And Colby Cooper and Dylan Wheeler.
Mm-hmm. And then
that was a good time.
And then coming up, another show with Colby at have you played Kane's Ballroom before?
Not yet. No, I'm super excited.
You know about the
one.
history of Kane's, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's like for anybody that's where we're at. That's within like 2 hours. So that's like, growing up, that's where we all go see concerts for people that live around these parts.
I looked at the concert archives. Me and my bass player, we looked at the concert archives, and it was like Metallica in the '80s, and just huge names going there. And I'm so excited to step on that stage.
Yeah, it's such history and stuff there, with the Bob Wills and the Texas Playboys, and
oh yeah,
it's crazy. So right now you're out playing, kind of pushing this new song you have out, "The Light."
Yeah.
So you just released a Medicine Man just last year, or almost like a year and a half or so. How's it? About a year.
November of 2019.
Okay.
So yeah, a year and a couple months.
So already releasing a single with some new music.
Yeah. We released that one back in July, I believe. And it's done really well. I'm ready to get back into the studio though and work on some new stuff for everybody.
I was going down the YouTube rabbit hole, watching your videos, and I'm a big fan of some of the stylings of your videos and the rawness of kind of your just playing solo with just you and the song.
Yeah. That format, I guess is what I'd call it, has done pretty well for me. So.
How is that for you to write songs that that your type of songwriting? You're writing real songs that you can tell it's like close to your heart. What's it like, capturing those songs and performing them on a video, but then just seeing them? It's so raw. Just probably seeing yourself doing that. Seeing that version of the song.
Yeah, no, for sure. I like, like you said, I like writing real music and seeing it seeing people relate to it has been the biggest payoff to this whole thing. Um, I get messages all the time saying that Josephine is one of them that they're a struggling addict and that helped them through it. And I'm like, man, that's what that song was for, and to see that come to fruition kind of just makes it all worth it for me.
Helps put more fuel back in the tank, I would
Yeah.
imagine.
Oh yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
When did you get into performing?
So I started with my brother, actually 8 years ago this month, back in 2013. We did the Usrey Brothers. That was an acoustic duo thing. We did that for about 5 years. And I had started playing guitar and singing, or well, I've been singing since I was like 5 years old, but I had started playing guitar like 8 months before I started actually like performing with my brother. And I was just putting in the work and grinding and stuff and getting my feet wet for about 5 years. And then back in 2017, I kind of branched off, started a band. And then in 2018, I released my first single, which was Daytona Nights. And then Medicine Man and all that good stuff just kind of came from there.
How would you explain the Texas country music scene? Because we don't live in Texas where we're at, but we hear as outsiders of the state that you can tour all throughout Texas because of how many venues there are.
My bass player put it best. He says that you can make a very good living and never leave the state of Texas in this scene, just because of how I don't know if it's close knit, but how many venues there are and how many people support it, just in Texas alone. And then you start branching out to Arkansas and Oklahoma and the states around us, and it's just the circuit is yeah, you can make a good living off of just staying in Texas.
It's like we were talking about here a little bit before the podcast about the in-state tuition for Arkansas, from Texas. So a large percentage of our university are from Texas. So they've grown up listening to, the Cody Johnsons that when they come here, they're selling out 1,800 people here, and it's all so many people from Texas. It's probably 95% people that's grown up in Texas.
Like a lot of people that I know from high school went to Arkansas. One of my best friends went to Arkansas, and so yeah, I see now. I see why now.
Yeah, it's there's a pipeline there for sure. You said you were playing in Arkansas. Where have you played?
We played at the Majestic in Fort Smith.
That's our sister venue.
Yeah. Played at the Mule Kick last year with Jordan Nix and Lucas Jagno, part of the Texarkoma tour. Not really a tour, but that's what we call it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple other places. I haven't played Georgia's yet, so I'm super excited.
Yeah, you're gonna enjoy it. It's unbelievable place to play. It's great atmosphere. And as you were started songwriting, who are some songwriters that you kind of were digging and inspired you?
So I would say Ryan Bingham is somebody that I really took a liking to early on. Probably Ryan Bingham, Brandon Ryder. Brandon Ryder was the first song I learned on guitar. I learned Backroads by him. Whiskey Myers, obviously Crossing and Ragweed. That's this Towns Van Zandt, like everybody else.
Yeah. Who doesn't? So whenever you guys are touring, I mean, you've been touring for a while. So what do you enjoy outside of the getting on stage and playing with everybody? What do you enjoy kind of as far as the travel goes?
So, man, I didn't have a set band until this year, which I actually found them during COVID, during quarantine, which we rehearsed every week of quarantine pretty much. But now, like, I just love being on the road with some of my best friends, and just goofing off in the van. And we just got a van, and goofing off in the van, goofing off on the road, and just like when I'm home, I just want to be out back on the. I can't talk. Back out on the road, and just being able to do what I love with some of my best friends in the world is the ultimate. Like, that's what I love about it.
It really makes touring a whole different experience. I've toured, I pretty much all the way through my 20s. And looking back, those were like the best times of my life, of being in my band, riding in the RV. And it's
Right.
when you're on the road, there's like no bills that you got to pay. There's no really responsibility other than get to the show, get along
Right.
with everybody, and put on the best show possible, and
Right.
talk to
Exactly.
the fans. So it's like having those experiences, man. It's crazy what you'll remember.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, we've been talking about it. We've been riding in a truck. My truck, which is, we have a 5-piece, or we're a 5-piece, and looking back, now that we've got a van, I'm gonna remember that the truck is some of the best times that you don't get that back.
Yeah,
No matter how miserable it was still a great time. So
that's the best times.
yeah.
So you've got this new single. Are you gonna keep releasing singles? Or are you looking to kind of get back in and keep releasing? Or
We're looking at possibly a full length. I probably wasn't supposed to say that,
no,
but
I was
we're looking
about
at
to say, if it's a secret, you don't have to tell me.
it's I don't know if it's a secret, but we're looking at possibly doing a full length this year. So just be on the lookout for that. With obviously a couple singles leading up to it, so I'm super stoked for that. Just trying to get the pre-production down and whatnot.
Well, you're going to be here on January 28th. Is it just going to be you? You bringing the band?
No, it's gonna be it's gonna be full band.
Nice. We're looking forward to the show and having you at George's.
Absolutely, thanks, man.
Thank you guys for listening to the podcast. This is Travis. This is the George's Live podcast, and that was Tanner Usrey, who'll be playing at George's Majestic Lounge this Thursday night, January 28th. You can go to georgeslive.com to get more information as well as get tickets there. And be sure to follow us on social media on Instagram and Facebook at George's Majestic Lounge, and on Twitter at George's Majestic. Thank you guys for listening to the podcast. Don't forget to subscribe if you have not done that yet, and tell your friends about the podcast. Thank you, and we'll see you guys next time.